Here's naughty Thelma with your Friday update from Parlsey Farm. She's escaped once again. Before I let the dogs out now, I have to do a yard check and make sure she hasn't gotten out of the fencing. She's such a little sneak. Well, it has been a busy couple weeks. Both Brianna and I finished school over the last couple weeks. It's been finals. It's been nuts. I've been trying to squeeze in a couple things here and there, but basically I've just been maintaining the farm chores. So everyone here is doing awesome. As you can see, the chickens behind me are loving their new space. The ducks are loving their pond. It's actually pretty disgusting right now, but they don't care. I'm planning on dumping it tonight and refilling it, and we've been talking about what to do for maybe some sort of filtration to keep it a little cleaner than this. If anyone has any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Would love to hear from you. Look how big these girls have gotten. Is that not insane? They're only 9 weeks old. This blows my mind. Well, Coco Chanel has made friends with the ducks. We actually separated her from the babies at 6 weeks because she was starting to peck them. So it worked out in our favor because we were able to combine the Morans that were inside still with the babies in the coop over here, the upper part of the coop. So Coco stays down with the ducks. The little girls are up top in the window right here. And I'd say in about 2 weeks we'll start trying to combine everyone. I just want the girls who haven't been in the coop to get acclimated and know where they're supposed to go at night. Here is everyone. They were kind of picking on each other, so we ended up putting in some food stations. There's one on this side and one over on that side. And there's a couple perching up in the window there. What we'll do eventually, you can see the cleat there and the cleat on that side. We'll put one roost across there, and then we'll put one a little lower. There's a little cleat, an old V-shaped thing under the window. I don't know if we'll do it at that level or if we'll do it a little higher at that level and just have to put a board across, a piece of wood like that across the window to kind of catch it on the other side. But this will eventually, we'll open up the doors. You can't really see. Well, we have two doors, two big doors like that. And we'll eventually just open those up, tie them up to the supports on the roof, and we'll just have this area open. We did add a little ramp so that, you know, nobody has to kill themselves flying down. I know it's not that big of a deal, but we added the ramp there. We added some nesting boxes over there. These two food stations will be out of here. We just want to build a food area outside of the coop. I'm going to put a roof, just a shed roof off the shed in this vicinity, and we'll put the food and water here. So that's the plan. And then we'll combine these two, the ducks and the chickens, on this side. That's what's going on with the animals for now. I did get some planting done. Nothing's really sprouted over here, but I have a ring of asparagus. On the outside, I have a tomato plant and a couple basil plants in the middle. And once those sprout and I can push the dirt over the asparagus, and smooth this all out, I'll plant some nasturtium. They're also a companion plant that works well with this group. I did a little bit over here. I'm not done, but I do have a ring of carrots on the outside and some cucumber and stevia. Still got some work to do there. I have to add the dirt in over here and get some planting done in here. But we're making progress, slowly but surely. I want to give you a little update on the mint. You can see a big cluster of it in the corner right there. That's doing really well. There's a little group of it coming up there. There should be, there's just little splotches of it throughout. So I'm hoping that'll just take off and take over this area, because otherwise it's kind of a barren mess. So that's doing good so far. I think Audrey is on her last leg right now. I just peeked in on her and she's laying on her side, and I'm just not sure she's gonna make it. I think this is it for her, huh? She had a little case of bumblefoot, which we got to resolve, but unfortunately, I just want to let her know someone's with her while she passes. Unfortunately, what happens is the infection can get into their bloodstream, and then it impacts their organs. So I sat with Audrey for a little bit, and she's passed. I did everything I could for her, other than put her out of her misery. I'm just not to that point where I'm comfortable doing that yet. I don't know if that makes me a baby or overly sensitive, but I haven't gotten there yet. I do want to do meat birds, and I want to get over that, but I'm not there yet, and hopefully I'll get there. But I want to talk about this. She had something called ascites. It is also known as pulmonary hypertension or water belly, and I've seen it in my flock a couple times actually. What I've found is they typically have bumblefoot or something going on, and my theory is the infection gets into their blood and the liver's filtering that infection and gets damaged, and ultimately it causes this condition. This condition's caused by liver damage, excess sodium in the diet, lung damage, plant toxins. There's a lot of different things. A big one is being exposed to cold stress within the first 3 weeks of their life. There's also genetic predispositions to it. So it could just be something that she had going on anyway. But as I said, I've seen this in my flock, and their abdomen gets all swollen. I did a ton of research on it. People were taking syringes and cutting their chickens open and draining the belly, and it takes them a little bit. It prolongs their life a little bit, but I didn't have access to any of that stuff. And what people were finding was it comes back. It doesn't fix the problem. It just alleviates the pressure for a little bit so they can eat and get their nutrition, but it keeps coming back and they keep having to drain the bellies. So I just made Audrey comfortable. I gave her what she was kind of saying she wanted to do. I had her in a cat carrier in the bathroom for a little while, trying to keep her warm while it was still cold out. And then when it started getting warm out, I put her out in the yard. She wanted to be in with the ducks. She moved in with them, and we just let her in there for a couple weeks. I knew it wasn't something contagious that was going to be transmitted to the other flock members, so I wasn't concerned about that, but I just wanted her to, I guess, feel as normal as she could while she was going through this. So I mean, I'm glad she's finally out of her misery. I'm sure it's really uncomfortable, and like I said, I wish I was at a point where I felt comfortable culling her and putting her out of her misery myself. I'm not there yet. I'm a city girl, and you know, I've dealt with so much death with the chickens and stuff, but usually it's something you just stumble upon. You don't even realize they're sick until it's like the last leg of their journey, because, you know, they're trying to maintain their position within the flock so they don't express that they're ill or injured or sick. They're putting on that front. So a lot of times, unless you're really attentive to your flock, you don't realize that something's going on. And I mean, I'm out there several times a day checking on them, and I didn't see anything was going on with her until I saw her feet, and I was like, oh geez. As I said in a previous Friday update, I did a little minor surgery on her, tried to get, a lot of times with the infection you can cut open their foot and you can pull out what's called a kernel. It's basically like a ball of infection. It's really disgusting. I do have a little bit of video about this, but I was hesitant to put it up just because of the graphic nature, and I didn't find quite what I was looking for with Audrey when I did her feet. That's also why I started her on an antibiotic, and that all resolved. That her feet were fine, but ultimately I think the infection got into her blood, damaged her liver, and she got ascites. So she's passed and out of her misery, and I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because, as everybody knows, death is inevitable on the homestead, and you know, you need to know how to deal with it. You need to know how to deal with the injuries, and you got to deal with it the best way you can. For me, I would love to have been able to put her out of her misery weeks ago. She did the best she could. I did the best I could. I just was not comfortable with that route. And maybe I'll get there, but for now, I handled this situation the best way I could, and that's all I could do. Sorry for the doomy, gloomy Friday update. Hopefully the positive things we put in will keep your spirits lifted, but you know, death is definitely part of doing what we do, and you just gotta deal with it. It's part of life, and it ended up on my Friday update. So anyway, I hope you have a really wonderful weekend, and we'll see you soon.